And here we are.
And we are. And we are?
And we are.
And we are.
And we are.
I burn.
I burn.
I burn.
I am Johnny Nullstep of Hopeless Judas. How we doing? I hope you're having a good morning. And who are you?
Oh, I figured you were just
I was going to, but fuck it, I'll just let you do your thing. Oh yeah, the foul language check mark is on today, so we're gonna talk about some shit. But anyway.
Okay.
So I am Johnny Nullstep of Hopeless Judas.
And I am Kid.
There we go.
So the check mark on. Remember, I said you have to dumb this down.
Okay, so basically you're allowed to swear.
Okay.
Okay.
Fucking A. All right.
If you like, check us out on Linktree, Two Awful People. You can also check us, well, you're seeing this on Twitch, but you can also see us on TikTok, X, Insta, Snap, all that shit.
Everything is.
I hate social media.
Yeah, I do too. That's the hardest part about all this is the fact that I don't like. It's one thing to go on Facebook and like I spam. I spam so bad. I'm like constantly sharing whatever I find funny, whatever I find offensive, you know, just everything. So it's really hard. But like when you have to actually put thought into it, I don't want to interact.
Well, that's the thing. It's you and I we just talk our shit. And people are either going to find it or they're not. You know what I mean? Well, we're still going to be, I think we had this conversation this morning. Our daughter is kind of a budding artist and is trying to do the whole YouTube thing. And she's irritated because her videos aren't getting a lot of views. Now, mind you, her videos get more views than this podcast, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And now she's all, I don't want to say pissed off, but it seems like she's a little disheartened.
She is. Because I think she was expecting like instant.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? The problem with it is I think that like she grew up at the time of Ryan, when Ryan was really big.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is or not. I don't know. But
I'm sure he is. He seems like the kind of guy to when you know, the demographic changes, he'll pivot.
You know what's interesting though is that him and our daughter are pretty much the same age, if I'm not mistaken. Mm. So they didn't grow up together because obviously he has no clue who the hell she is. Yeah. But they kind of grew up in the same time.
Yeah.
So I think that she's under this illusion that the second she started stepping out, that she was going to be automatically a Ryan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't even think it dawns on her. Dawned. Why am I like really hyper today?
Yeah.
But I don't think it like dawns on her that she about the money aspect.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't click to her.
It seems like she's absolutely hell-bent on making her art a financially profitable venture. And it's like, that's not why we do art. Can you stop fucking with my leg?
You know what's funny?
God, you know, I love our cats, but oh my God, I want to make a friggin' hat out of him.
You know what? It's funny because yesterday when you had me going through all the videos trying to find like clips and whatnot,
yeah,
you kept seeing Sonny.
Yeah.
But we were hearing him, but the mics weren't picking it up.
The mics weren't picking him up?
No. So it's really funny because like the entire time
you just see me randomly spazzing
yeah,
out.
like we're randomly like what the heck? I mean, occasionally you see that cute little.
Yeah.
And I got some. I think I was able to point them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't hear them at all. And I'm like, that's funny because then people who are watching it, if they do end up watching, you're going to be like, yeah, they're fucking psycho. Because they're hearing things that aren't
I swear to God, I'm actually reacting to something. Yeah. I'm not just randomly, Bob Goldthwaiting. But I wanted to, the check mark is on, and I wanted this to kind of be a no-holds-barred episode. But I thought about something this morning, and I wanted to kind of bring this up. I told you I wanted to tell the story for the longest time, and the reason that I wanted to was
that's what he sounds like. I know that
sound like you're dying.
I know that you guys can't hear it, but that's exactly what he sounds like.
You sound like someone is literally ripping your innards out.
And funny thing is, he doesn't really he meows a lot, typically at night. That's when he meows. But it's not until we start this podcast. Because even when I was listening to it yesterday, trying to go over it, he...
Yeah. It's like the second you and I start talking, he's like, well, I got shit to say too.
I know, he does. He's got cat things.
He's got cat shit to
He's
say.
got cat things.
Ugh.
But continue.
Okay, so I was on Twitter yesterday, and I don't remember who it is. I'll take a look at some point. But there was a young lady who ended up putting something that was like, with everything going on in the world, show me something you're really happy about, or something to that effect. I just remember it was share something happy. And I shared a very, very specific song. You and I have always had, and you and I have always had kind of an unorthodox relationship. Mm-hmm. And one of the hallmarks of that is the fact that you and I just essentially just accept each other as is. One of the evolutions has been essentially a midlife crisis of me diving balls deep into like dubstep and drum and bass and EDM and stuff like that. And so we've been, starting to listen to a lot more of that. That being said, I think it was like a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, something like that. It was fall.
No, it actually wasn't fall.
I thought it was fall.
It's funny because it was like the one day that it happened, the weather happened to be nice. It was the pre letting you know that it wasn't going to be shitty and cold all the time.
Was it?
Because it just happened to be one really sunny day to where like you predicted spring. Like it was kind of like.
So it was right before spring?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Long story short, I apologize.
So we end up, we had just got done having the fucking shittiest day of shittiest days. It was one of those days to where you should be arrested for the way that you want to react. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
And I remember us driving home, me, you, and MJ, and we're going down the road, and no one's saying a fucking thing. What?
Mara was not with us.
What?
She was not with us at all. I'm actually like, it's funny because you're telling this story, and I'm like, holy crap. Because we did have a crappy day. We had an incredibly crappy day.
Okay.
And you and I had the moment to get away without her. We went to Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was I believe up at my parents. She was either at my parents or at school, but you and I had that moment where she was not there.
Okay.
She was not there.
And I guess she wasn't there. Anyway. Fuck you, man. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, I seriously remember her there.
Yeah, no, she wasn't. I mean, I remember she was in.
Yeah, no, she wasn't.
Yeah, no, she wasn't. Trust me. I think it's because of the fact that now I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
That I remember when I actually do get breaks from my kid.
Fair. That's fair.
So I think, and I'm sure any woman who is hearing this, or any man, like I don't want to be like woman, because they're stay-at-home dads too. Like anyone who hears that statement's going to be like, yeah, I know what she's talking about.
Unless you're a childless cat lady, right?
Childless cat lady, but
childless cat lady.
Whatever. Continue.
Stupid shit. Anyway, so okay, so I guess it was just you and I. Fine. We'll look at it that way.
Shut up.
And so we're driving down the road, and we're just not saying a damn word. At that point, we were just like, you know what? I don't even care what happens anymore. Like, it wasn't that we were disgusted with each other. It was just
over life.
Don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, let me fucking recover. You know what I mean? Just that's the day it was. And we took this one road that we essentially always take. Mm-hmm. There's one of two ways to get into the closest city that we lived near, and this was one of them, and we just happened to take that one. Now, as I said, we have been having I've been having a midlife crisis with dubstep, and one of the songs that I'm completely obsessed with, especially after this moment, is a song called "Do It" from a gentleman who calls himself Rootkit. Now, I wanted to actually tell you this because I've never had a chance to look at his catalog and see what else he's done, because that song was from 2014. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I listened to some of his other stuff. It's really good. But that particular song was something. There was something special about that, and it might just be the emotional.
I think it is.
You know what I mean? It might just be the connection that we had because we ended up turning down this road. I had put some music on just randomly. I essentially put on Spotify. I put on something from Delta Heavy, and then it started to just cycle shit. Well, one of the first things that I put on was, I think it was Exodus from Delta Heavy, and then it went into this song, Do It from Rootkit. Now, the road that we traveled down, it was, I mean, maybe that's the reason that I look at it as fall. Because when we went down this road, the leaves were changing, and it was the most picturesque 10 minutes of driving that I've ever seen in my life.
You know, I think the reason too, as far as the type of weather that it was, I think that you're right. It was the way that because things were changing, but if you remember, it was the way, because we went down that one road, and that road is like literally all trees.
Yeah.
So you saw the reflection of the sun through the trees. So I think that's also why you were like, it was a very fake moment.
Yes. You know what? The simulation was very good to us that day.
Yeah.
It really, really was, because it seemed like every single element. Yes.
The
absolutely
sun,
perfect.
The colors, the temperature. I mean, it was like everything was perfect.
It was quite literally like the universe realized that we had the fucking worst day that we had in a very, very long time, and was like, you know what? We'll throw them a fucking bone.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, they deserve this.
Yeah. So we turn down this road, and that song starts. If you're listening to this right now, I would seriously, not right now, stick with us. But,
no, leave. Ignore us.
Stop listening to me right now. Go to Spotify and check out Do It from Rootkit. It's a very simplistic song. It's one chord progression, but the way he varies it is so friggin' emotionally charged.
Yeah.
And we went down this road. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. The first thing that went through my mind when that song started, I just looked over at you and I was just like, fuck yeah. And this is before the song kicked in. You know what I mean? It was just that moment to where it was just like, whatever happened, we're good. I got my baby by my side. I had my kid in the back seat. Apparently I didn't. And life was good, you know? And then the song kicked in. I don't know, and I want to hear what went on in your head after I'm finished, but I remember looking over at you and then looking back at the road. Our entire life, our marriage, our courtship, our having MJ, even getting Bonnie from West Virginia, all that shit just went it was like I was dying and my life was flashing before my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, just that very kind of, this was the moment. That was that moment that you kind of discover your purpose, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it, or maybe just this is what you're fighting for. Mm-hmm. This is what you do everything for. And I remember looking over and you were just staring at me with this big old grin on your face. And I just remember thinking, you know what? You can't fuck with us. Mm-hmm. You can't fuck with us. And if you do, you're not going to fucking win.
Yeah.
And we've actually started, that's a landmark now. We call that place Moment Road.
Even though that is not
what it's called at all.
What it is.
But for us, that's what that is.
Yeah.
You and I will always, we could, if we ever encounter that road, that moment immediately is going to come to our head. But what happened with you when that happened?
You see, it's funny because I think about that, and it's one of those things where I feel like I was coming off as morbid when I would say it, but you pretty much said it too. Just the whole, like, I saw my death day. Like that, not
Yeah.
so much. I didn't see when that was going to happen, but it was like everything that you've ever seen in those stupid cheesy movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I saw that.
That was the Hollywood.
That was
thing.
that was like
Yeah.
it was like everything that you would seen out of those movies that everybody has like only hoped to aspire to be like have.
Like I want this moment, you know.
Yeah, I saw a very specific moment of like me, you, and MJ right after I gave birth to her.
Yeah.
You know, I saw you and I down in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, I saw stuff like that, and I saw a lot of hugs. I even saw there was this one.
We're a very tactile family, aren't we?
We are. You know, there's one instance that I saw that really kind of, and I know most people would be like, that's weird, but before you and I had even started dating, we got into like, I don't want to say a fight. That's the thing. Like you and I don't feel like we fight.
Mm-hmm. We have very passionate discussions.
Yeah.
Very heated discussions.
But no, see, I don't even like that because when you say heated, people automatically assume that means we were yelling.
Well,
it
implies some kind of combat. And that's never what discussion with you and I has always been a very give and take thing. We seriously just want to find out where the fuck the other person's coming from.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where you and I had got into like our version of what would be a fight, I guess.
Yeah.
And we went to Goodwill.
Okay.
And you were standing over by electronics, and I was by the entrance, and I walked in, and I saw you, and you looked at me, and you smiled. I looked at you, you smiled, and we walked right towards each other and gave each other a hug.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what we were fighting about.
Yeah.
It really didn't. So I saw that moment, you know, when we were going down that road.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very fake, perfect moment.
It does seem like it was like that moment was created.
Yeah.
It really did.
But yeah, I saw everything. I saw everything that you and I had been through together as friends, as, you know, because that's the thing too. Like even saying that now, you are still my best friend. So it doesn't even like, so when I'm like, oh.
We can't fucking stand anyone else.
No. Mm-mm. We have our own language. I really believe that. You know, you and I can have an entire conversation just looking at each other and not even saying anything. Yeah. And we've done that plenty of times, especially out in public.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that road, it was just like, it was perfection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can only hope that everybody else has had a moment like that, but I've never really heard anyone mention anything like that. But you and I had that, and we want to hold it to ourselves because it was our moment.
Yeah.
But in the same token, it was like, oh my God, you guys got it. Like, have you ever had this experience? Because this was like nothing like we've experienced before.
You know what? The reality is that you and I are the kind of people that when we experience something just
I know.
transcendental. That's what that was.
Yeah.
That was that to me felt like the to me that felt like the it felt like the theme music from Final Fantasy when you win a battle. Just you know what I mean? Just like that kind of thing.
Leveled up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was very much a moment where you knew what you did it for.
Yeah.
I knew why I went to work every day. I knew why I just worked, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Every goal that I pursue is for you. And it's really I don't do things for myself. I have no reason to. I have every single thing that I need in my life. I really do. I have this air in my lungs. I'm able to write. I'm able to do all these things. I'm able to sing and do all these things. But I don't do them for myself. You know what I mean? I don't do anything for myself. Which is weird because it's like even this. The reason that I'm talking into this microphone right now, looking at my beautiful wife, is because I want to look at my beautiful wife and talk to her.
Yeah.
That's it. So this idea that the universe was just like, see that? Do more of that shit. You know what I mean? Because that's the way I interpreted it.
Yeah.
I interpreted that we had spent pretty much, we didn't fight each other. It was us fighting the world. That one day, it was like, see all the shit you did? See all the shit you did? Keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I've been, you know.
Like, everything else may be fucked up, but you guys aren't.
Yeah.
As a couple. Like, you know, everything else may be fucked.
Yeah.
You guys aren't. You know, just like that. Yeah.
So it's one of these things that's like, I know why I'm here. You know what I mean? And I want, if you're listening to this right now, I want you to have that feeling.
Yeah.
I want you to wake up and know your purpose. I want you to wake up and I don't want anyone to wake up and be like, yeah, let's tackle the day. Fuck that. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Give me some fucking Tylenol. You and I. We woke up this morning, we sat at the kitchen table, we just started talking, and then immediately we just whipped out the Tylenol. I'm like, let me hit that shit. But it's just, I want everyone to have that moment. I want everyone to have that moment to where everything's fucking up, everything's exploding, but you know exactly why it's exploding.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what you need to do. And you know exactly why you're here. And you know exactly what you should be doing. You know?
Yeah.
So that was a moment that I am so grateful for. And that was something that just happened. We didn't set that up. There's nothing.
Yeah.
We just happened to put on a very specific song that got randomized. We just happened to turn down the same road we've taken a million fucking times.
And you know what's funny is you almost chose a different road. Because if
Yeah.
you remember, there's
that
one
too.
road that we go down that there's this house that you and I are obsessed with.
Yeah.
And I'm still convinced it's a front. It's a front house. Like, it has to be. Because it's like, it's too beautiful and it's abandoned. There's a lot of, but yeah, you were like, hey, let's go down this road. And if you remember, do you remember why I said I didn't want to go down it?
Because the road that we were on prior to turning on that road had a big bump that you wanted to go on. Yeah. Or we take that bump like at 45 and the car gets like maybe 3 inches of air, but it's just enough to be like, ooh.
Yeah. And I love it. And you were like, hey, normally we do go down that road
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, I mean, like, okay, well,
Yeah.
we're in a mood to see our house.
Yeah.
We're in a mood to imagine our house, you
Yeah.
know, and we go down it. But for that day, for whatever reason, I was like, no, I want to go down, I want to
Yeah.
go on the hilly road. So, yeah.
That was cool though. You know, and I don't even want to cheapen it by saying that it was a cool moment. No, that was
It was perfection.
every once in a while.
us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was perfection for us.
Every once in a while, you put something out in the universe, and the universe just looks back at you and goes, "There you go," and that's it. That's what that was. So I really wanted to share that moment. You know, I thought about doing like a TikTok or something like that, but in reality, it's when you and I talk about our life, it's like this.
Yeah.
We're sitting in front of each other with coffee. There's normally not as many fucking cameras around, but you know. But that was just a really cool moment, and I'm glad that I got to spend that with you.
Your brother totally peed on you, didn't he? I'm enjoying this conversation, and all I smell,
His cat
yeah,
piss.
I think his brother was just like, you know what, you're getting on my nerves, and peed on him. I'm almost convinced.
Is that what it takes?
Yeah. Maybe we should never.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
But you know what? It's interesting. I remember before I met you, there was, as you know, this guy that I was very, very, very much in love with.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point talking to my sister and my mom, and they're like, okay, again, this is pre knowing that you existed.
Yeah.
They were like, well, what are you going to do if the guy that you're in love with decides he wants to be with you after you're with somebody else?
Yeah.
If you find someone else and get married, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because at that point, you know, Cooper was all I could think of.
It's like, what do you do if you meet a dubstep freak who's a premature ejaculator, And it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do in that anomalous circumstance. Anyway.
But no, it's like I was like, Cooper was all I could think of.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even. But it's interesting because I think about the life that I could have had with him, and then I think of the life that I have with you. Like I said to you before, I know for a fact that I would have more than likely been a stay-at-home wife and mom.
Yeah. It seems like that was the way that you not necessarily that you wanted it, but it always seems like that was kind of
that was the direction my life was trying to take me, whether I wanted that or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because here's the deal, and you know that I wanted to have a career.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what, my life was just like, no, fate had other plans for me.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that had I been with him, the reason why I would have been a stay-at-home mom and wife is because he would have wanted that very 50s lifestyle that there's aspects about the 50s that I would have loved to have had, but not for those reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I have this imagination or this, imagery of him coming home, going out and hunting after, hunting all day, coming home, throwing a deer on the table, me having to cut it up. And, like, I actually see all of this. Mm-hmm. And I am so miserable in this.
In this scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I always kind of felt like that would be the case, but I just was like, well, no, because this is what I thought you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is what you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it seems like you came from this, and what the fuck did my voice just crack? I'm going through puberty. It seems like you... That was the example that was set for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like the... I don't want to say female servitude, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah,
all
like
of the females in your...
worked,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But she still waited on your dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, that's not a quality to me.
Yeah, like at that point, it was one of those things where, like, so for an example, and I know that if she heard this, she'd be like, no, I didn't, but it's true. If we were sitting down to eat, my dad, my mom, and I, and if there was, an extra piece of meat, and he already had
your father.
Like he already had 3 portions, but I only had 1. If I wanted it, no, it went to the male first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and I guarantee you that I probably would have kept up with those behaviors, because even with you, I try and pull that, not with our kid, but with myself. I'm just like, well, nope, he gets it first. You know what I mean? But you're just like, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're hungry, eat.
First off, I don't look like I skip a meal. First off.
Yeah.
Okay? Second, it's like, all right, fine. I leave the house and work, right? Mm-hmm. You have to deal with her. I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I as much as, and I do love my daughter. Dude, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I get it. The autism mixed with being 12, mixed with the normal female issues, and then you add in
a bunch of other crap on top of it.
The normal complications of our life. And she's chaos at this point. And I don't really know how to rein that in. And I'm not saying that you do either. But it's one of those things. So, well, good luck. I'm going to go to work. So I get to leave this shit show. So as far as I'm concerned, you put out way more work than I do. I go to work and I have a meeting for 10 minutes. I offend a few people. And then I fuck off for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I take a shower, I come home. That's my, every day, 5 days a week, that's my life.
Yeah.
You never have the same day.
No.
It's always just, what fresh hell is this kid cooking up today?
And and truth be told, I feel like it's constant chaos.
Yeah.
I never get a complete relaxing 1 hour where I don't have to be worrying about something.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm not doing...
In fairness, though, I don't really get that either.
What do you mean?
I don't get an hour to not worry about something.
Well, here's the deal. When you have somebody constantly bringing their problems to you.
Yeah.
I can't unplug.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's not our daughter bringing her problems to me, it's her friends.
Yeah.
And if it's not her friends, it's my family.
That's annoying,
you know
isn't
what I mean?
it?
It's like I don't get a break. And honestly, it was funny. Her and I were playing this thing. It was called, it's like Truth or Dare, but it was like spin the bottle. It's for girls, and you're supposed to have like more than two people, but it was just her and I. So we were just taking turns going back and forth.
Yeah.
And it said, Truth, what was one thing that you would like to do for the next day? I'm like, I would like to have a day to where I just kind of stay in bed and not do anything. And she goes, well, then why don't you? And it's like,
because you keep bothering me.
It's
asshole.
not just her though. It's the
No,
dog.
I
Who's
know.
like, I constantly need to go out. I constantly need to go in. And then you have
Yeah.
and the other one, you know what I mean? And them two are just like it's like somebody's constantly needing my attention. And then if I don't give someone an attention, they act out in so much extreme ways that it's like I don't get that moment. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm constantly walking around hyper like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
I would like to have a moment where I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? But it's like I realized because of the fact that I'm a stay-at-home mom, I don't get those breaks. For that, I
We're
mean,
gonna have to make that happen, but yeah.
but it's like it's one of those things where I love my relationship with you. I love my role with you. I love my role at home. I love my role. I do love all this stuff. But it's like had I been with Cooper, it would have been completely different. Because here's the deal: I'm able to voice these frustrations with you, being like, "Oh, well, I don't get a break."
Yeah.
Like I'm able to voice these with you, but I know that had I been with him, I wouldn't have had that.
Yeah.
Another example, the one thing that I love about our relationship is, I have to have my own set of blankets because of the fact that
You fucking alligator log roll
But it's
every
like-
time you
it's
get your
not-
hands on a friggin' blanket, especially mine.
You know what? It's not even just that now, though, but it's like, how much the cold affects my body. So I need those extra heat. I need that extra weight, everything else. But it's like, even if we're not cuddling, even if we can't share blankets for a second to where
Yeah.
we can cuddle, like last night, you and I were holding hands as we fell asleep.
Yeah.
That's just kind of, what we do.
You know what? Let's just lean into this. Because the reality is that there's no better subject that I enjoy talking about than you and our marriage. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing in my life that I know I fucking did right. You know what I'm saying? Like I've made a lot of mistakes. This is the one thing that I fucking nailed. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like me. It was I had an amazing partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. That's interesting when you think about it. Because it's like when I first moved to northwestern Pennsylvania, I was like, okay, I don't want to fucking be here. I don't like the weather. I don't like I like the mountains, but I didn't want to live in the fucking mountains.
That's funny because you keep saying mountains, and I know technically it's mountains. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't.
Okay, so South Jersey,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, no, I see the difference.
Florida.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
we've been to all those flat ass places. And not to say that that Jersey is completely flat, because it's not. But you're gonna find the urban sprawl flatland
Yeah.
of Jersey.
But it's funny because until you really separate that and you realize that this is very hilly.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? Because this is all I've ever known. This isn't hilly.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can let the dog out.
Yeah, do you think? But it's one of these things that when I first got to the area, I just hated it. I absolutely hated it. And ends were meeting, but we needed to make them meet better. So I ended up getting an overnight job at Walmart doing receiving, and that is where I met you.
Yep.
And I never realized that when I walked into that break room, that life completely changed.
Yeah.
I had no way of knowing that. It was like a bat to the back of the head. And luckily it was a very nice bat.
Yeah, that was definitely not planned. None of it. It's funny because this whole you can't help who you fall for. I felt like with you and I, it was completely different though, because I remember the first time that I saw you, because I had been working there longer than you had at this point, because you just started.
Yeah.
And I walked into the break room and I laugh about this and I tell you about this and I will never forget this. Like I walked, everybody was sitting down at the tables getting ready to start the meetings, and there you are just in the corner, hands in your pocket. Your head wasn't down, but you were just like, observing everything, and you were leaning up against the vending machine. And like my first instinct was like, well, why the fuck is this guy not sitting down? I don't know why. That was legit the first thing that popped into my head the second I walked into that break room.
Yeah.
I looked right at you. I don't know why, because it wasn't an empty room either. Yeah. But maybe it's because of the fact that I had worked with these people for how long at this point, and like you were just the one new person, and that's why I don't know. Yeah. But I can tell you that although I did think that, I mean what I said. It was like I saw you and was like, oh, there he is. Yeah. Like it was a very like I had known you forever.
You and I are convinced of that.
Yeah.
That if there is some kind of past life mechanic, that you and I have shared past lives.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't surprise me, to be perfectly honest.
No, because you and I click in a way that I feel like, and sometimes I actually feel like it's disrespectful to other people.
Just like you and I have this entire world that we just shut everyone else out from.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you. Not you, but...
No, I know. But it's like, I feel bad about that. Because I feel like that people have tried to come close. But they can't. Like I said to you, like, I've flat out stopped using the terms best friend with anyone but you. Yeah. And I won't use that. Because fact of the matter is, every time that I use it, it just ends it horribly. Yeah. Like, not even just like, hey, you distance yourself. This is like, no, a school bus is on fire kind of ending relationship thing. But with you, it's been very, very, very consistent. We have been best friends, and we have continued to be best friends.
You and I have never tried to force anything. There was never any, okay, well, we need to do this. We wake up, and we deal with each other as is.
And we're both really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's things that, like, I do that I know that most people would just be like, okay.
Like what? I'm curious.
I mean, well, for starters, I'm not going to say, I think typically the men that I have known have wanted their wives to look a very specific way. And the first time that you and I had went on a little trip together, I was like, I have to
camo crop top.
Yeah.
And shorts, I don't remember what color they were, but I do remember you had those hunter green underwear on. Because they peaked up a little bit. They weren't hunter green, but I called it hunter green.
Yeah, it was 2 shades of green. And actually one of it was hunter green. It was like
chartreuse.
Whatever. But the reason why you were able to see that set of underwear at that point, though, is because of the fact that I had been losing weight. Yeah. And, like, everything was, like, slime.
Yeah.
But, no, I said to you, I'm like, oh, I have to pee. We got lost. And we were, like, up around the woods.
We were in, like, wrong turn, banjo sheep humping territory. Holy shit, was that place scary as hell. We ended up on like the side of a mountain pass. I remember looking over, and it wasn't like we were on a cliff or anything like that.
We were pretty close to it.
But it was like, I just remember I was driving at that point, I think, and I was looking over to my left, and you see a whole bunch of trees, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Just empty friggin' space. And I just remember thinking, this is not the safest fucking position I've ever been in my life, you know?
And meanwhile, I'm like, nah. Yeah. But it was funny because I said to you, I'm like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And you're like, okay. And then without even saying anything, I just left the car, went over and squatted in the like, and most guys would have been like, what the heck? Like,
yeah. What? I was just like, I'm gonna marry that girl.
Yeah. And it was, and like, there's also, because of my illness, sometimes my emotions get a little bit more erratic than, and when I have these moments where I start feeling like really amped up and I'm like, most guys would just be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? And then there's the whole pet thing.
Well, when you get like that, we're not gonna deal with the pets just yet. That's why I put the check mark on. But like when you get all amped up like that and stuff, it's not a hard thing to kind of calm you down. The biggest thing with you is tactile contact. The second that I give you a hug, it's just like,
Yeah.
and like, you know, your anger or whatever it is just kind of deflates. Yeah, the pets are a little bit of a different thing. If there is one thing that you and I are going the rounds on, it is the pet thing.
Mm-hmm. I have a problem.
Yeah.
But you know
You're
what?
like
though?
fucking Angelina, dude. You just like, hey, cat, meow.
But it's not.
Donna, why do we have a new cat? Kid, why do we have a new? Who the fuck is this?
Yeah. No, you know what? Here's the deal, though. I've gotten a lot better.
Okay.
Because fact of the matter is, Bonnie is constantly trying to bring home a new pet, and I'm like,
Okay.
no.
She's trying to bring home raccoons and skunks and shit. Okay. We don't have room for them.
But still, it's the point though. Like you know, like, and if I see a cat outside, I'm like,
Yeah.
go away. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm actually at my limit. But still, yeah, I understand that's a.
The house has reached maximum occupancy.
I have to go potty. I have to
Okay.
have potty.
You know what? Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back. We're back. When you call a dog and the dog just kind of looks at you like, fucking what? What's the point? What's the point in having a dog?
I don't know. You know what? The fact of the matter is, like, I'm trying to let her. He did not meow once. I know that no one can hear this, but he did not meow once.
The entire time we were
on break.
The house was at 2.
Yeah.
And then the second I hit the record button.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whatever.
But I'm trying to let her enjoy being outside right now because of the fact that, I mean, I was kind of surprised at how cool it was this morning.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really feel like a summer morning. So it's like, okay.
It's a weird morning.
And she's got arthritis, so I'm like, just let her out there. But yeah, she's a pain in the butt sometimes, man.
Yeah. That is what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But no, we were just making everybody grossed out about how much we love each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you know
Just
what? It's,
sloppy love.
yeah, but you know what? It's interesting because, I mean, obviously you've dated a lot more people than I have. You know, and that's not an insult. That's not,
Didn't care if it was.
Yeah.
I've had fun.
Whereas, like, you were my first real serious boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know, and I just happened to marry you.
That's fucking wild, man.
That is.
The reality of this is that I have never, like, I've had stable relationships. You know, I've had long relationships.
Okay.
Those relationships were never really stable.
None of them?
No. I mean, there was always some element of imbalance, whether it came from my end or someone else's. It was just, there was never any kind of counterbalance to my lunacy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, you know, we are, I don't want to say older because we're not that old yet.
Yeah.
You know? I'm 43. I think you're 39 now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of these things where, yeah, I just don't have it in me to just be a sonic boom anymore. You know what I mean? I'm much quieter.
You know what?
So
though?
back in the day, it was very much just a, and no one could deal with it. Now I'm just like, right on, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? The thing of it is, I feel like I think age has part to do with it, but I don't think it has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Because I feel like in order to have a successful relationship, you need to have two people who are willing to work together. To help themselves grow and to help each other grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas I don't know what it was like for you in your other relationships, but like, whereas if there's something that you're doing that's bothering me, I'm not going to wait till the last minute and just be like, well, I'm mad at you because 6 months ago, like, or if I feel like you're doing something wrong, I'll call you out on it.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's the only way to have an actual successful relationship is you have to have the ability to call each other out on your shit, on each other's shit. You do it for me, I do it for you. You know what I mean? Like,
And the other side is you need to be able to take that too.
yeah.
You know?
It's like,
and most people can't take criticism these days.
that's the one thing, like, I feel like the best compliment...
Can you fuck off?
I wonder if I caught that.
Get!
I feel like one of the best... You're right there.
Anyway.
One of the best compliments I had ever gotten was from this guy who was my professor that I looked up to. It was the fact that I took constructive criticism. You know what I mean? And it's like that to me, I feel like is the best compliment you can give anyone nowadays. Because nobody can take, you know, because like even if I make something, I'm like, do you like this? What could I have done better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, should I have added? Like, I'll accept that, you know, or even when it comes to like even parenting our kid, like if I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing this and you could be like, hun, I think that you should be, whereas most people would be like, well, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. And I either take your advice or I'm just like, yeah, it just doesn't seem right. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this inability to accept where you could improve in any direction, especially when you're choosing your life mate.
Well, it seems, and I'm just speculating here, but it seems like most people, when they choose a partner, mate, boyfriend, whatever the fuck you want to call it,
Yeah.
they're not thinking about the longer term of it. It's like, okay, can I grow with this person? Is this person going to push me to be the best version of myself?
Yeah.
And are they going to resist me pushing them to be the best version of themselves? Because I feel I owe that to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If whoever's taking the lead in terms of making money, whatever, those kind of things just tend to resolve themselves when you have people who understand what need to be done.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't be in any position if you didn't push me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I could easily create just about anything. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything that's worth a shit until I show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you show me specifically what I'm doing to either maybe make it better, or maybe I'm not hitting a specific mark, maybe I'm hitting a mark too hard, you know?
Yeah.
And I realized that because there's really no conceivable way to understand that. There's no conceivable way to predict that, you know? So it was pleasantly surprising when you and I really kind of started solidifying our relationship, and then you started pushing me to do things that I wouldn't otherwise do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even that I wouldn't otherwise do, but just the commitment to, you know, action on specific things.
Yeah.
Is if you can't, you need to understand when you look at someone, you're looking at them as a snapshot of who they are right now.
Yeah.
If you want to pick someone for long term, you need to kind of look at what's going on and be like, okay, how is this going to fucking work in the future?
Yeah.
She's already busting my balls because I'm not making enough money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's like that's only going to get worse. You know, I don't know. I think I just lucked out. But the reality is, I was a shitty boyfriend back in the day, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like everybody is shitty at what they do at first. You have to have somebody that's going to be with you to help you grow.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I can say regarding you is I've heard so many times where women will go into a relationship and be like, oh, I like this. I can work on this.
Yeah, I can change this.
Yeah, I can change this. And it's like, I've never felt that way with you.
Yeah.
Everything was very natural. Everything seemed very in its place. And that's why I'm saying it was almost like we've always kind of known each other. Because I didn't look at you in any aspect and think that, you know, I don't understand this, so let me go ahead and try and change this.
Yeah.
No, it's like either we find a way to work together on this particular whatever that I feel like you need to change, or I accept that's who you are. Like I don't understand this whole I need to change someone, because you shouldn't feel like you need to change anyone. In fact of the matter is, I've always had that mindset, like I told you before, like someone would be like, oh well, you're not making enough. Okay, so go get a job.
Mm-hmm. Like if the inflow of money is such that you feel we need more, well then I'm doing the most that I can. It's up to you to make up the rest.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
I think everything's fine.
Yeah.
All our bills are, you know, the ends are meeting like a motherfucker. So.
And that's the thing too. Like, I mean, technically, I'm sure that this is going to come off wrong, but
Yeah, the funny thing is, I was actually just thinking, it's like, you know, that could be construed as a really fucked up thing to say. Fuck it. It's out there.
But you know, the fact of the matter is, like, could you be making more? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have a very low maintenance wife.
I do have a low maintenance wife.
I don't expect,
Yeah.
nor do I want
Keep
to.
the streaming services coming. Keep feeding me.
Yeah.
Keep fucking me. We're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We
why
have a
I'm
very
like,
simplistic life.
I don't have to go get my hair done every so often.
Yeah.
I don't have to go get my nails done every month or I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how often girls typically get the shit done, because I don't.
Yeah.
That's not who I am.
So, does it work for us because I really don't know how to guy and you really don't know how to girl?
That would make sense.
Is that like we just don't really know how to be our respective genders?
Yeah.
To like, you know, like I will never ever be someone like Andrew Tate, for example. And I'm not even talking about the dickheaded part of him. I'm talking about just this hyper disciplined, at the expense of everything. Because it doesn't, honestly, everyone's just kind of looking at that lifestyle and being like, well, that's the lifestyle I want. So really, he doesn't look fucking happy.
Yeah.
No one that I've ever seen with a lifestyle that comparable looks happy.
Yeah.
They all look fucking miserable.
Well, not all of them, but for the most, yeah, I would say for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do they say? More money, more problems, more complications, more things you want. Fact of the matter is, like, I don't really want much. The one thing that, there's this, I want simplistic things.
Yeah.
I want a dishwasher. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Well, we have a dishwasher. I just need to fix the damn thing or to replace it.
But it's one of those things where, like, I don't really ask for much, you know? I love it. Like, last night I said to you, and I'm so angry about this, to be honest. I'm going to sleepy, but I was so angry because last night, I don't know why, I wanted a hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars.
just the garbage pizza. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want much. I just want, just one, a freaking slice of pizza.
Yeah.
And I swear, I always thought they were open till 11.
I thought so too. But no, 10 o'clock.
But I said to you, like, how every once in a while you're just like, oh God, I want McDonald's. You know it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to feel like crap after you eat it. But you're just like, oh no, I still kind of want that. And last night I was like, I really want a pizza. And the fact that you were just like, you know what? And then you actually looked it up. I was going to get me a pizza.
Oh, I was gonna grab a few of those on the way home, and whatever. But yeah, they're closed at 10.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes me happy. That makes things complete for me.
The thought.
Yeah, and it's not even and that's why you got a hold of me. You're like, I'm sorry, it's closed, and I'm like, you know what? No, I don't even care. I mean, had you gotten that pizza, that would have been like the best thing in the world. Yeah. But in the same token, the fact that you were just like, good. The fact that you were just like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go look this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could have, by all rights, gone someplace else and gotten a pizza, but I didn't want an expensive pizza. I just wanted a cheap. I'm going to regret eating this, but let's have fun and eat it. Pizza.
Yeah. Funny thing is, now I'm just like, I actually really could go for a Little Caesars pizza.
I know. I was actually just going to say, I wonder if we could take a run in real quick and grab one.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. For fuck's sake. I don't want to leave the goddamn house before I go to work.
Oh, the things we do for love.
Oh, the things we do for love. Yeah.
But it's like, it's a easy, and that's another thing that makes a wife's job easy. Picking up shit like that so you don't have to feed the kid.
That's the thing.
So it's like, I have a feeling, little things in life. That's what people don't realize.
It seems like the marriages that tend to last are the marriages where you both are trying to find ways to make life fucking easy for each other.
Yeah.
And it seems like once you aren't thinking about those things, like I think about those things all day. You know what I mean? It's one of these things where, all right, my wife needs such and such. I could get that on the way home. Or I could just have her order it and pick it up tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just, I don't know, because you kind of have to do shit anyway. That you're not going to wake up and have absolutely nothing to do in this life. It's just not the way shit works.
You know what I would be curious to do? I would be curious to ask, not that I want specific amount of numbers, but I have found that the people who have gotten married, the more money that they spend on their wedding, either the relationships don't last, or they're really miserable.
So I'm wondering, would be interesting.
Because fact of the matter is, you and I, justice of the peace.
Justice of the peace in our fucking living room.
Yeah. I mean, and that was perfect. Fact of the matter is, I was thinking last night, I'm like, I really would love to renew our vows.
Yeah.
I really want to. Like, there's specific locations that I'm like, I would love to do it at, Yeah. So, like, I would love to do that. And it's not even so much to invite a bunch of people because, I mean, fact of the matter is, who can we fucking stand?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's one of those things, it's a nice moment, and I'd like to have that moment, Yeah. But I wouldn't want to have, like, an all-out wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just an outside, renew the vows, and have some fun.
Yeah.
That's all I want. But it's like I've known people.
It seems like the more pageantry, the less serious.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's like, is there a correlation between that? Is there a reason why? Because I've known people who have literally spent thousands on a wedding,
and they're fucking miserable.
And they're cheating on their spouses and everything else. It's like, when you have to have such a high maintenance, and I'm not judging anyone that has, because I'm sure there's people out there that have spent a lot and continuously are really, really happy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
In your experience.
Yeah, in my experience, I haven't seen it. So it's like, is it one of the finer things they want to put on a show? Mm-hmm. It's no different than, people who are influencers and they're on. I mean, no one knows that you and I are like this in real life, unless they're around us.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people on there that are like, we have this perfect life.
They have this contrived, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, no, our life is dog shit.
Yeah.
We just happen to be able to deal with it together.
Yeah.
So, I don't really understand that. There's, it's weird that you mentioned the influencers. I in getting everything ready for this show, not today's show, but just the show in general, obviously we have to do all the social media and stuff. And getting, I'll be perfectly honest, getting back into Instagram almost upsets me more than getting back into Twitter. Just because it's like, Twitter, most people are, because I refuse to fucking call it X.
Yeah.
For no other reason other than just, it's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. Fine, it's X, whatever, but I'm not going to call it that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, I don't know, whatever.
Twitter's like I said to you, I'm sorry, but Twitter is essentially the more controlled 4chan.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. But, I mean, it's a fucking dumpster fire. Twitter is a dumpster fire. And going on, but here's the thing, for the most part, people on Twitter are about as real as it gets.
Yeah.
For the most part. Just because it is the place that Elon has taken most of the barricades away.
Okay.
So it's like 50% anti-Semitism and racism, and 50% a bunch of people just acting the fool. You know? And I'm part of that 50%.
Oh yeah.
Realistically, But it's so I go onto Instagram and I start doing stuff. Two awful people. Instagram, by the way. And I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling. None of you people look like this. None of you people are living these lives. You may be going to these places, but you are nowhere near as happy as you're making yourself out to be.
Yeah.
People around you are not as happy as you're making them out to be.
Yep.
And I realize that because they're selling an image. That's what being an influencer is. They're selling an image.
How about being real, though?
Well,
I would rather follow somebody who was like, you know what? Shit's fucked up today. Right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny because, like, even if you go back to the Watts case, she was an influencer and she was showing all this stuff and she had this, perfect life. But that's the thing. People were looking at it and seeing a perfect life. If you, no offense, but if you watch those videos, you're going to see that was anything but perfect.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that people only want to see the good parts. Mm-hmm. And that's what
I get that.
I get that. But how about
you're not being presented the entire picture.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that you and I are going to share the horrible shit that's happened to us on this podcast. That's not what this is about. This is about our morning conversation that we fucking have every day. Mm-hmm. And yeah, sometimes it gets a little whatever, but we're not going to. Do you really want to hear about all the horrible shit?
No, but it's, here's the deal, though. It's nice to know that you are not the only one going through shit.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't want to discuss what you're going through. Just like, you know what, I feel really shitty today, but guess what? We're still going to do this.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep pushing on.
Like, I did not, I'll 100% honest, I did not want to fucking do this morning.
Yeah.
I was not, and for no other reason other than I just woke up and wasn't fucking feeling a thing.
Yeah.
I just woke up and was like, no. Well, what's wrong, honey?
Meanwhile,
wasn't
I
feeling
wake
it.
up every morning acting like an infant. I stomp, I pout, my hair's all a mess, and I'm like,
Well, I'm an adult. I got to get up and go to work. Okay. No, it's I don't know.
you suck.
But the interesting thing is that the second you and I sat down and started talking, just like that road,
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care if it ever takes off or whatever. As long as I get to sit on the other side of the table and look at that smile, I'm good. I'm good. Ends are meeting.
Why are you sighing? He's
Ends
talking
are-
about me.
Yeah, no one's talking about you.
And he's like, oh.
I want you out. 3 o'clock in the morning. It's literally like having Bob Goldthwait run through our friggin' halls just shouting the entire time.
Yeah.
It really is.
We really should have. Had I known, I would have named him something completely.
Shit. A Bobcat.
Yeah, but
Bobcat. Bob
Okay.
Goldthwait. But you know what? We're actually out of time.
All right.
So this is fun.
it was.
This is really fun.
Same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow, 9 o'clock a.m. So we will see you Thursday. Make sure you follow us on all the socials. Obviously Twitch, if whatever. Just fucking follow TikTok, X, all that stuff. But